Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
Live from the Keith Vincent Kalos Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, this is our weekly podcast, Is This Real? This week's topic is shadow people. I'm Joe Jr., and with me tonight I have Raw U West, Roadblock, and your host as usual, Joe the Third. Take it away, Joey.
Welcome, everybody. This is another fantastic episode of Is This Real? And as my dad said, this week's episode is about shadow people. Now, everybody has had, well, let me just rephrase that because obviously somebody in the booth hasn't. But as I know, everybody has.
Hold on, wait a minute. I just fucked up on the intro. We had to stop the production and everything else.
Well, no, I didn't fuck up. I didn't fuck up.
Oh, okay.
I didn't fuck up.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I was talking before, and I was telling this about Josh when I was talking about this subject.
Okay.
I said, everybody has had an experience with a shadow person.
Right.
He goes, no, I've never had one.
You know, what's crazy is that this episode, I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be the one where Blocker actually has an experience with this. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't think so.
No. He was like, right. No, I've never had one. I was like, you've never had that, like, oh, what the fuck was that? Because what I explained to him, I was like, you ever walk into a room and you see something in the corner of your eye, you're like, and it looks like a person just standing there, and you're like, oh shit, what the hell is that? And there was nothing there when you looked. And he was like, no.
That's a horrible impersonation.
Well, eventually we're going to get around to a show and a topic that Joshua is going to have experiences on. You know, now next week's show is all about orgasms. So I'm only hoping.
Nope. No. You want to talk
then I give the fuck up.
You want to talk about something? Going after thickums.
Oh, I could talk about that all day and night.
Thickums.
I have no idea what the flying fuck that is, but okay.
Anyway, thick women.
Okay.
Anyway, our podcast episode for tonight is shadow people. And like I said, if you ever had an experience where you walk into a room and you think someone's standing in the corner of your eye and you see like this black mass and you look and there's nothing there, it's fucked up. And the definition of a shadow person is they're also known as shadow figure, shadow being, or black mass. It's the perception of a patch of a shadow as a living humanoid figure and interpreted as the presence of a spirit or other entity by believers of the paranormal or supernatural.
Right.
Yes.
Now, I could only go on stuff that I've experienced. Like, we experience shadow people all the time upstairs. And
he says all the time, like, well, you know, sometimes I get some salt, and then I see something, and you know what I mean?
No, but that's how it is though. Like, Dad will tell you some, like, the experience I had. And okay, so this was, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I'll say it for this anyway. The experience I had, it was in the middle of the night, and it was upstairs, and I was 14, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was in the parlor, and I was doing something in the parlor. I was getting socks or something.
Socks.
And I saw in the doorway of my room, because my room is now where Teresa's room is, as big as the door, it looked like a shadow of an image of a person. Yeah. And when I looked, I didn't see anybody, but it felt like it burned in my eyes, because you ever have something burn in your eyes and you see the outline of it?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I saw. I saw the outline of a person in the doorway. So I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know if it was a shadow person or it's just my mind playing tricks on me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I don't know. Because you were wide awake when that happened, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, of course, it was like 2:00 in the morning, but I was wide awake.
Yeah, so I don't know.
You got to ask yourself what if you do see something like that. I used to work in a building where they were prolific. Every time you turned around, it was shadow person, shadow this, shadow, and you see them off in the distance. It's a fleeting thing, and you can't even say that well, your eyes are playing tricks on you because the building was well lit. It's not like you're walking into a dimly lit corner or there was something going on. Everything was bright lights all over the place. So to see something like that,
especially if you're not like under the influence of anything,
right?
You're like alert, wide awake, sober, just like conscious right there, and you're just like what you see, and then people just like look at it as you being crazy. My sister says that she sees things all the time, and like my personal thing is I tell her like, listen, if you see things, that's cool. Don't give it any type of attention. Don't give it no type of energy. Just leave it. Just leave it be. Just leave it be. If it's leaving you alone, just leave it alone. That's it.
You're not sure what you're dealing with.
You don't know what you're dealing with.
Right. And anytime
take no chances. Take no chances.
Anytime there's a black mass, when somebody says there's a black mass, that drives me up a wall because basically what that's telling me is that's a signature sign for the demonic. That when they want to appear, the demonic will appear as a black mass. They'll also appear as something that you can only see the eyes, or something will be wrong. It'll be a person. It could be a perfectly good person standing there, but then it'll have no feet, or the eyes will be bloodshot, or something will always be wrong. Now, I could. When the stuff that I've seen and witnessed, like upstairs, I've seen shadows when no one's in the kitchen. I've seen literally people walk across the room, and it's just a shadow against the wall of it looks like a person.
Ooh, that's
now I don't know.
Ooh,
Joshua, you're gonna point out something about getting to the scientific end of this. Has there been something like that they've actually gone into the scientific end of it to?
To a little bit of a degree, it's not so much as like deep, like what's the word I'm looking for?
Researched.
Yeah, like deeply researched. Because unfortunately, a lot of the people tend to try and blame it on sleep paralysis, like we've said before we started this podcast. It's really just several different physiological and psychological conditions can account for those reported experiences of seeing them. But they say it's more of people who suffer from like sleep paralysis because they may perceive a shadowy or indistinct shape approaching them while they lie awake but paralyzed. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone who has internet or has been alive long enough knows about stuff like that, which is perfectly fine. But I can't really sit there and think, why would they contribute to that? I mean, there's notes like a person experiencing some kind of heightened emotion, such as while walking alone at night on a dark night, may incoherently perceive a patch of shadow as an attacker.
Right.
Which, I mean, yeah, I guess I can see that. You're walking, I mean, shit, I've done millions of times walking from here to my house when I was still living in Patterson. You might look in the corner because you don't know if you saw something or if there actually is people there because you saw people walking ahead of you when, you go to check to make sure. But there's just weird things, like some of them are accusing it from sleep deprivation. There's methamphetamine addicts that are reporting it. Right. But I mean, come on, you're under some kind of like altered mind state.
For me though,
you're on meth. You could take bullets or something, man.
Okay.
No, that's
bath salts.
No, that bath salt and PCP.
No, see, I put
which
it
we
to
don't
two
condone
different
to the
things.
use of any of that.
No, we don't. I put it at two different things. Sleep paralysis and seeing shadow people, I think, is two different things.
Well, there's one last bit. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
They mentioned that visual hallucinations.
Hallucinations?
Yeah,
English is not our specialty.
I cannot talk tonight. Sorry, folks. I am a disappointment. No, I'm just playing. Visual hallucinations, such as those are caused, they say, could be caused by schizophrenia or bipolar disorder.
Oh, fuck.
Because if you have one of those two conditions and you have your peripheral vision maybe altered or even at the edge of it, you would probably be more likely to see it.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I know there's a science behind, not a science, but there's a theory behind what is sleep demons or whatever the hell.
Sleep paralysis?
There's a theory out there that it goes back to the sleep paralysis part of it. It's basically if there's something demonic that's involved, the demonic can paralyze you as far as conscious.
And you know what's happening.
But you're in a dream state.
Yeah.
And they can fuck with you at that point. That's when then you start bringing in, the, what do they call those, the demons, I forgot.
Incubi and succubi?
Right. They want to have sex with you and stuff like that. Now there's, right. Well,
that's where I can't talk about yet.
That's where wet dreams come in.
Oh my God.
I don't know about that, but,
I don't know if I want to be on the same side with him anymore.
but that's what I'm saying, though. I think there's a difference between
It's all connected.
a sleep paralysis and shadow people, because you don't have to have sleep paralysis if you see shadow people and you're wide the fuck awake.
Yeah, but Joe, look.
Yeah, that's true.
I often think too that do I believe that there is? Yeah, I do, because I've seen it myself. So I'm not going to sit there and say.
So the real question is, like, do you believe in like something grander?
Well, it's not that. I think the question, if you do believe in shadow people, the next question is, what is it?
That's like asking, what is a ghost?
I know.
Now shadow person, we all know, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in your eyes, you have the cones and the rods and everything else. And there's a spot in your eye where it comes together, and that's called the blind spot. You can literally put something on the side of your head, in your peripheral vision, and you can't see it. So what's to be, what if something is like your blind spot, but then you move something and your blind spot automatically starts picking something up? You know what I mean? In other words, you're sitting here, you don't see it, but then you move your eye and you see it, and you think it's a shadow.
But no, that's not what it is, though. It's more of
that's actually more towards how well your peripheral vision is,
right.
And when it reacts. Because if you're standing still and I'm looking directly at this computer, I can get to about. I can't show people because we're on a podcast, but for you guys, I can get to about here and I can still see my hands if I'm staring straight. Right. So if I go a little bit farther back, I'm not going to see it. But if I tilt my head a little bit, my peripheral vision should catch it.
Right.
But that's me personally, because that's how good my peripheral is. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's different for everybody. It could go with age or, whatever the case is, or just your eyesight in general.
Yeah, but I think also it doesn't go into that, though, because if you look at it, if you're catching something with your peripheral vision, you're catching it then. You're seeing something there, which triggers the reaction of you going to look at it. Okay. It's not something that you can't see, and it's like, oh, I feel someone staring at me, then you look.
Right,
it's catching something in your peripheral vision and noticing, like, that looks, in the split second, your mind reacts like, that looks fucking weird.
Okay, so now my next question, everybody, is, you ever stare at the sun for, 3 seconds, 4 seconds?
Dude, I used to stare at the sun all the time.
Then close your eyes?
Yeah.
And you have that burning that's there?
Yeah.
So why can't the shadow people, or some of the shadow people, I can't explain it, but why can't that be something like that? You're looking like this light, and I look away, and I see the light, but I also see things around it.
Well, can I be honest with you?
Sure.
My experience, that's exactly what happened. When I saw something in the corner of my eye, and I saw that person standing in the doorway,
mm-hmm.
It burnt into my eyes what it was, because a couple seconds after I saw that type of that light that you get from the sun,
right?
As that, like, you ever see, like, when you close your eyes, you have the
orb.
Yeah, the orb of the sun left in your eye because it's burned from what you're looking at. That's exactly what I saw. I saw that the outline of what I saw. And I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me, or if I really did see something and it burned itself into my head, because I can put myself back into that situation right now. Like, that's something that.
And have you ever felt threatened?
Not threatened, no. Like, I got scared. Of course, I was like fucking young, so I I had to go back into my room because I was standing in the doorway of my room.
Right.
And I walked into that. And I was like,
that's just like whatever's like, I guess, furnace or whatever is clicking over there.
No, it's the dryer.
It's the dryer's on.
But yeah, that's what was in my it was burned into my memory. because I can go back to that moment and still recall exactly what I was doing and exactly what happened. And if it's not that important, your mind wouldn't remember that.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey Ryan, hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win seal. Hey everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
I guess look, it's like everything else, guys.
Maybe it goes down to the whole like survival thing. Not to cut you off, like
no, it's okay.
like
Survival of what, though? I wasn't threatened.
But you were scared though.
Well, scared because I was young, but I didn't feel like it was going to attack me. That's the thing, though. Like, with any of these shadow people that you've seen upstairs, or
Maybe
things,
scared because you couldn't understand what you saw.
Exactly. Did you feel threatened by any? Have felt threatened by anything you've seen?
No, not really. No, I mean, I've had sleep. Seeing stuff, waking up in the middle of the night and seeing stuff standing in the room, and you focus your eyes and it's still there, but then it goes away. I've had that. And that is threatening to me because that I don't know what that is. And then it goes back to I don't want to go back to sleep because what if that thing's going to be still standing there, or what's it going to be like if do you trust your own brain at that point? Is there going to be something there when I'm sleeping? Do I want something watching me? Kind of like if you go back to Paranormal activity when she's standing there over the bed for 3-4 hours, just leaning over, staring. That's got to be the most creepiest shit I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, that part would definitely freak me out, and it has. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of you guys, but
you had an experience, right? That you thought it was a shadow person or something.
Well, yeah, like the whole I relate to it the shadow ghost experience, whatever it was. It was when I was watching The Exorcist, and my cousin was sleeping next. It was fell asleep next to me, and I'm pretty sure I was wide awake, just watching the movie, and then I don't know, I just felt to just look up. And then when I look up, I turn my head to the right, and the way my house is laid, if I can describe it, staring straight, you would see living room, and then past that you would see a doorway, and then that's where the hallway is, and you see and you can just pretty much see the back door. So to the right of that would be the bathroom, and then to the left of that would be a bedroom. I hear the bathroom door open. I see something step out. Probably about the same height as my mother, but its hair, I can't even say her. Its hair was down, and it was it had one of those 19. I don't know, just one of those. No, one of those old school. One of them old school, I guess like when women used to go to sleep in night dresses.
A nightgown.
A nightgown, yeah. Okay.
Your mother doesn't sleep at night.
Nah, nor does she sleep with her hair down. So that's where I was just I didn't talk to it, but I just questioned. I thought to myself, I was like, Mom?
Was your sister the same size as your mother or not?
Nah, my sister was, we were in high school, so my sister was probably in elementary school at this point.
Oh. Well, see, that's a thing though. It's that's a ghost. I mean,
ghost. I don't know what that was, but I heard it open the bathroom door. I saw it step out, stare at me. I'd stare back at it, and I'm just I'm still staring at it. It turns its head and then opens the bedroom door and closes it. It steps in and closes it.
Now, whose bedroom was that?
That was my parents' room at that point, but that's the room that I sleep in now.
Oh, well.
Yeah, comforting, right?
Well, that's fucked up.
That would be more along the lines of a ghost.
Yeah, that's more of a...
Or a poltergeist. Well, a ghost, not a poltergeist.
Poltergeist, you wouldn't see anything.
Right. That's creepy right there.
That whole scenario was creepy as fuck. Because after it went into the room, I was just like, that did not just fucking happen. I know that was like, Mom. I was like, nah, that was definitely not my mother. That was definitely not my mother. But I'll ask her a benefit of the doubt. Hey, did you happen to use the bathroom like late at night? But like, I asked her following morning, and I was just like, yeah, we got to get the fuck out this house.
I don't know what would be creepier.
So I have a question. Hold on, not to cut you off. Yeah. Did you go, like, walk towards it?
No, nigga, what the fuck?
I'm just asking a question. I would have.
No, you would, of course. Look at
you're white.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You want to say it.
Thank you. I'm over here.
You just asked a Spanish man if you would go towards something that could very well be a ghost.
There's
in his
Spanish
house.
Ghost. There's Hispanic and Spanish ghost hunters.
Listen. I just grew up in a house. I just grew up in a household where my grandmother was a very like hardcore Catholic. I don't know how this relates to it. F it. White candles, the whole thing, and then
she believed in like bruja and shit like that.
And then like stay away from all that shit. And then you got like family members that are actually like involved with that brujeria shit. So you got an idea of just like, okay, this is what it comes from, like from a Catholic's perspective, and this is what it comes like from someone that fucks around with this shit. So it's just like when you see both of that, and then you see some shit like that, you're just like, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck with that.
I'm gonna stay away.
I'm gonna stay away from that. Whatever you are, cool.
See, it's the funny thing about that though. Like I know we did the investigation of next door. And, I mean, this would be the perfect time to do the investigation next door.
It would be, actually. You're right. Actually, it'd be better when we empty it out.
So so then is another question: are shadow people ghosts?
That there's a I'm trying to find the words here. Sorry.
Correlation?
Not a correlation. The scientifics or paranormal researchers are debating on it. There's some classifications that have, shadow people as ghosts, right, but they don't know if it's ghosts, in body, or out of body humanoid shit, demons, shit like that, because they're trying to figure out.
It's just it's like Mr. Game & Watch, unexplainable.
Yeah, they're not sitting here saying, they're not giving it a classification. It's just they're gonna make a classification of its own, that it's a shadow person.
Right.
Oh, if Food's here. Oh, he's gonna be back. Okay. But yeah, it's a classification of its own now, and that's what it's going to be. And I think for the future, they're not going to put it under a ghost. They're not going to put it under a demon, because they don't know if it's one or the other. Because the difference between a ghost and a demon, a ghost is somebody who lived on this planet and walked this planet. A demon is something that didn't.
I understand all that, Joe, but I also understand that basically, if they can't tell you. I mean, you could have all the paranormal ghost hunters in the world, and not one of them can prove positive that ghosts exist. Now we know it, we've experienced it, we've seen it, but there's no.
But I have a question.
You can't prove any of this.
What classifies as proving though? Because we've seen videos, we've seen pictures, we've seen of shit that we know it's not there at the time.
Right.
We know that one video that the ghost hunters caught in the fucking prison with that shape that came out of the blackness and then ran back. Mm-hmm. We know nobody was there.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
Again, that's the problem I have with all this video. You got that you could take that video and chop it completely to shreds, Because to me, at some parts of that video, it looks like it's actually cartoons. It looks like a little bit of a cartoon that was pushed in there. I don't know. This is what I mean. Video, to me, is not a good medium for ghost hunting.
So how do you prove?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's one of those things where you can't just slap a collar around it and drag it through the town square.
Oh, I know that, but video would be the best proof of it.
But video can be fucked around with.
Well, so can any type of media.
You're right, but if I grab a ghost and I grab by his throat and it's sitting next to me, that's not being fucked around. That's really there. You got it. You know what I'm trying to be skeptical here. Although I do believe in spirits, I do believe in demonology, I do believe in ghosts, paranormal, all of it. But you got to put it into perspective. A lot of these shadow people are basically your eyes playing tricks on you. I mean, that phrase was created for a reason. Your eyes are playing tricks on you.
Well,
and I've seen shadow figures. I know I have.
Let's pass the question off to our resident atheist. What do you believe?
That's a good question. And I'm glad to answer.
I thought about you last week. I'm listening to last week's podcast, and I'm sitting there going, he's telling me he's an atheist, but he's also saying, we were talking about the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
Well, it could be some part. I'm on the fence. It might be paranormal. You can't have both ways. If you're an atheist, there is some.
That's why I took a screenshot. I sent it to your son. Atheist, the literal definition is a person who does not believe in God or gods or demons or devils. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say I'm an atheist, because I go by that literal definition.
Okay.
First of all, let's just clear that air. But I'm not naive enough to sit there and deny the fact that there's energy or negativity and stuff like that. So to answer your question of what I believe or what I think, I'm actually looking at it more from a scientific view. And for me, I know because... Okay, you got to think of it. You remember the old TVs, how if they would get fuzzy, they would process and there'd be all those lines behind it and stuff like that. That I forgot the terminology for it, but it would look like it'd be waving back and forth because the picture's not there completely.
Right.
That's the way your brain perceives images when you turn. That's the way your brain perceives images when it's in the corners of your eyes. Your brain is actually technically the same way a computer would work. You take a picture, and to a degree, it can fill in the lines,
right,
and images on the side of things that you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to a coworker about this too, because he brought it up for some reason about like visual and stuff like that. So when you turn your head, depending on how fast you turn and where you're looking, your brain fills in each spot automatically as quickly as it can.
Right.
So it's already processed information. Like I'm well aware of this booth right now. So if I was to turn around, without a doubt, I know what it looks like. I don't have to sit there and pay attention and try to purposely look at something to make sure I know what it is. Whether it's the sound thing, the wood, or whatever the case is, like. Your brain has, your brain works that way, kind of like an old computer or an old TV, where it should fill in those old things. Right. So for me, from like a scientific point of view, that's what I think it is. But you can make the counter argument, why is it happening to most people mainly at nighttime?
Right.
You can kind of add that in because...
So basically what you're saying is that your brain fills in the gaps of what it doesn't know.
Yes. You said it better than I just did. I'm mad. Okay, but yeah, basically your brain
my
fills
question
it
for
in.
that is why does it fill it in a humanoid figure?
Because like I said, your brain doesn't know what it is. You can know your surroundings, but at nighttime it changes. Your perception will change because of the fact that you have limited light, not enough or a lot of light, whatever the situation is.
It's kind of like being in the woods. When you're in the woods in the daytime, everything's hunky-dory. You can see this, you can see that. At night, I don't know if you've ever been in the woods at night, but totally different perspective.
Yeah, you know there's trees there, but for some reason, if you look a little bit off to the corner, the tree may look like someone.
Oh, yeah.
Or it looks like there's a dog or a demon or a bear or some tall thing coming at you.
Coyotes in the back doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't.
But see, I
Not
get
like
that.
behind you, but like you know what I'm
Also,
saying. Like
turned
in the
into Bear Grylls over here.
Nah, like you know what I'm saying. Like in the distance, you hear a coyote or something like that. You'd be like, oh shit.
Kind of like the coyote here we hear in like COD.
Oh, don't get me started with that and your brother, please.
No, I get that, and I to a point agree. Yeah, like your mind does fill in gaps that you can't see. Like it's just human nature, but it would be fine if it filled in with something different. My question: why fill it in with something that looks like a person or something that looks like something's coming after you?
Yeah, but see, I think what we're doing here is like what Joshua just said. You know, you turn quickly, or your brain's filling in, and then it's gone. It's gone. That's a sudden movement you did. But there's also the times when you could be sitting there, literally staring at the television, and you just see. I mean, we've done this 1,000 times upstairs, where in the hallway, it looks like somebody is in the kitchen, and you're waiting for them to shut the light and come in the living room. I mean, how many times has that happened? It's over. It's and you're not. There's no sudden movement there. So I think there's two different types of things going on here. You got
well, there's a couple different types of things because you could have that obviously you see something in the corner of your eye, that it catches your eye, you shake, you're like, what the fuck is that? And you look, there's nothing there.
Right.
Then you have that you're staring at something and you see something move, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And you don't look at it. It's not like you're quickly moving your head to see it. You just see something move in front of you, and all in my ear. I'm gonna lower your mic for right now while you're eating that. Is that all right?
You think it's fucking hearing it? You got to smell it over here. It's like a Mexican's wet dream.
Okay.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
I love that smell. I don't care.
No, I'm sure you do.
Anyway, and then you have the one types that
Everything right now, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know this right now.
and then you have the types of the things that happen. I've experienced this too, where it's not like you see a shadow or anything like that. You see something just block out light.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've experienced that as well.
And that's one of the most fucked up things. You see something just block out the light or block out something white.
I got one.
All right, talk.
Have y'all ever lie down and you stay and it's dark and it's dark and you just start seeing all the darkness just slowly take over your eyes, and then you start seeing everything all over again? No, all right, bet. So you're awake, but you're not blinking, and you're in darkness, so you're letting your eyes adapt to that darkness. And your eyes just everything gets all black and shit at first, and then it just you slowly start adapting to it.
Oh yeah,
Everybody goes through that. Yeah. I did that last night.
Have you ever seen something after your eyes adapted to that darkness?
No, I have not. That's fucked up.
I actually have my eyes would do that. I would see something after, your eyes are just now acclimated to the darkness, and you start to see things that you didn't see in the light. Yeah, I've seen that. Now, I'm not saying they're shadow people.
That's fucked up.
Right. That's exactly what Josh was talking about. That's scientific at that point, because that's what your eyes are designed to do. Your pupils will get wider to let as much light in as possible, and that's what when they say that, that's why they're adjusting to the darkness. And then somebody will flip the switch on, your eyes will be like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Because now your eyes are wide open, and you're flooding it with light, and it could.
It hurts.
Right, it hurts. It can go the other way. So, I believe that I do believe that the shadow people, certain systems, certain scenarios, it does exist. I can tell you for a fact. I've seen it where I worked. I've seen shadows upstairs. Stuff that you just can't explain away. It's not where you just moved your head real quick and it filled in the gap or whatever. These are things that I physically have seen. Now, what were they?
Well,
maybe that's the next question we got to ponder.
Do we sit there and classify that as a shadow person, or do you classify that as an apparition at that point?
Well, it can't be an apparition because you're not seeing it. An apparition you got to see. A shadow person, if it blocks out light, against the wall. You're just seeing the light being blocked out, or you're seeing, a 6-foot figure standing there, and then all of a sudden it's gone. I mean, that might be classified as an apparition, but a true shadow person?
Yeah, but is it an apparition if like a group of people see it all at the same time?
Well, I imagine, that would definitely lend the credibility, sure. That would be kind of like Fatima. When St. Lucy or whatever her name was there with the 2 other kids, nobody believed them until they went there one day after they were told this was going to happen. And then, thousands of people were in that field. And then the sun started to move and shake and everything else. And their accounts of it are all the same. So that would definitely lend to the credibility of a shadow person or any kind of paranormal that's going on. So that you're right about that. But again, you got to. I think this is definitely different chapters or different. You got one that could be something you like. What Joshua said, it could be you just turn around real quick and then your eyes are adjusting to what you're seeing there, and it's making it their own. Your eyes are making their own.
When you
tricks.
sit there and you look at photos of shadow people, and we'll post some on our Instagram. By the way, we have a new Instagram. Please go follow. And we'll tell you about that at the end of the episode. But if you...
Links will be in the description.
Yeah, when you look at photos of classified shadow people, and you see just a blob of darkness.
Right.
Or just a shape of and it's darked out. Mm-hmm. What do you think? At that point, it's not the trickery of the eye because you're capturing it through a photo.
Right. If, in fact, the photo's real?
If it's untampered with and unedited.
Right.
How do you prove that it's untampered or unedited?
Well, the only way that I guess that would work would be film. You take the film and you take the raw photo that you just developed right there. And if that's the raw photo that you're showing me right there that you just developed, and it came out exactly like that dark blob right there, then I'm definitely gonna.
Well, at that point, you would have to sit there and record you going to the Photoshop, or CVS, wherever the fuck. We're not sponsored by them, and you have to sit there and say, "Look, this is I'm developing this photo right now. This is something I believe I caught. Here it is," and record you developing the photo, and post that to the because it's like. What do they call it? A certificate of certification to know it's real. That would be your certificate of notification
of
authenticity.
Yeah.
My bad. Again, English is not my strong suit. That would be your proof right there that it's authentic.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to record yourself to go to the photo generator, whatever the fuck you want to call them, and.
The film developer.
Yeah, the film developer, and develop it on film, on like an actual recording, and post it. Like, here's the photo, and here's me getting it developed. I did not do anything to this photo.
Hey, whatever it takes to prove it.
And then they're going to be like, show me that video isn't unedited.
Yeah. I just think there's different parameters to all of this. I think there's some that you can, shadows to me, just shadows, not a blockage of light. When you know there's nothing in the room, that to me is a lot different than just seeing a 6-foot person in a shadow standing in a corner. To me, that's totally different. And I don't know if you want to classify everything as a shadow person or just an anomaly, but that to me it's two different things.
Word, by the way.
Anomaly.
It's just to me. It's two different things. Now I don't know.
Well, I'm reading the wiki for it, and all of the basically throughout the entire page, they're talking about the coast to coast, and they're talking about them, and apparently they have a lot to do with the recording of shadow people and
coast
getting
to coast,
it out there.
George Norrie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Art Bell, when host Art Bell.
Art Bell's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. Art Bell was more along the lines of a UFO, phenomenon.
Yeah, they were really big in the shadow.
Right. So wait. Who are these people?
Coast to Coast was a paranormal. Wasn't a
Coast to Coast is a nationally syndicated program. It's on from 1 to 5 every morning. And now the host is George Norrie, but it's not only George Norrie they don't only cover, paranormal stuff. They also cover political stuff, conspiracies sometimes. They always have, what's his name is always on that show. Alex Jones is always on that show. For you people out there who are familiar with Alex. So yeah, now going back to Art Bell's days, George Norrie took over for Art Bell. Art Bell has since passed. He used to do all his shows. You couldn't find political on his show. It came out of a show called Dreamland, and that was early on in the early 80s or early 90s. And he did UFOs, Area 51, kind of like what we do, and he would do the same thing. But it wasn't that he was questioning if it was real. He was telling you, this is real. Here's the proof. Here's our evidence. And he would have guests on accordingly. Where George Norrie will give you
We haven't gotten to the point where we get guests yet.
Right. George Norrie will give you some guests against
Stepping Stones, people. Stepping Stones.
We'll get guests. I mean, that's not a problem. We got to get our, we have to build up a little bit.
Well, I mean, in the See Also section, it says these things might apply to shadow people, and that's apparitional experiences, broken specter, a jinn, night terror, and pareidolia.
There's a lot of those.
So was that like paranormal paranoia?
I don't know.
That's such a tongue twister. Oh shit!
There's a tendency for the incorrect perception of a stimulus as an object, pattern, or meaning known to the observer. Basically, what he was saying about your mind filling in the gaps. That's exactly what it is. It's pareidolia.
I agree. that there is definitely that. There's a possibility of that, and I do believe that the people that are seeing, wow, look at this. I just saw something. Turn my head real quick, and there's a 7-foot hairy guy standing in the corner. I agree that can happen. But when you're sitting there and there's a blockage of light that's basically happening not in the corner of your face, but in front of you, that's also an issue. There's got to be some explanation for that.
I think also if you have those type of experiences where you're seeing shadows, like we've never done a ghost experience, a ghost hunt in this house. Like we never tried to record anything or tried to bring anything out.
Right.
But I think if you have those experiences where you're seeing something within, the corner of your eye and you think it's a man, and you have paranormal experiences and paranormal tapes to back that up.
Well, we'll wind up we're gonna do next door in the near future. We're gonna do all 4 floors. Okay. We have the attic, the first floor, second floor, and basement. And the back hall. We're going to do that.
Shaking their head.
Oh, that's part of what we do, and we're going to do that. Now, having said that, you get... What the heck? Really? Really? Jesus fucking H. Christ and his brother Harry.
No, the 2 Spaniards are looking at each other.
Oh, my God.
Like you hear this shit, bro? Like...
Yo, legit, like, what?
Oh, but Mr. Atheist, you shouldn't be afraid of anything because it's not there, right?
I'm not. Okay, first of all, I don't believe in God or demons or gods.
Okay.
I'm not going to sit there and take a chance with something that might come out
you got to let this go because this could be a complete whole section of shows.
Yeah.
On this one, all right, so let's.
Now pose a question.
Let's
Dad,
pose a question because we're running here now. It's already,
Do you believe that shadow people exist?
I believe in certain shadow people, like I just said. I believe that shadows, not people. I believe in shadows. I believe in the shadow figure. I believe in the shadow, just the coverage of light. I don't believe that there's people that stand there in a corner and walk around. And if they are, they're in another dimension and they have no idea that you're even there.
All right, Wes, you believe in shadow people?
Fuck. I'm gonna hit you out with the classic block on this one. I'm on the fence of this one.
Rhodey.
T-shirts say "I'm on the fence."
Yeah, we should do that. We should give T-shirts that say I'm
now
on
you
the
know what you
fence.
can put for Josh's T-shirt.
I'm on the fence. That's my shirt right there.
Got you.
Me, I'm just gonna say honestly, I'll just flat out say no. I've never experienced it. I mean, you're talking to a guy who used to walk down Patterson Ave, Union Ave, and all that type of stuff in the dark because I used to hang out here at your guys' house all the time, like during the summers, and then go home to my house when I was on the other side of Patterson Ave, Union Ave, whatever the case is. I've never really experienced anything like that, so I would actually give you a legit no for one
Now
thing.
you do know what's going to happen. You're going to leave here. You're going to go home. You're going to get in bed. You're going to shut the lights off, and your mind's going to start fucking playing with tricks. And that's what I'm going to fucking text you every 3 minutes to let your phone go off. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 a.m.
No, that's Tony.
I personally do believe it because I have had an experience with it. I've had an experience, and like I said, it burned into my memory. And if it wasn't important and it didn't scare me so much, it wouldn't have burned into my memory of why I remember this particular incident in my life so vividly. So I do full-heartedly believe in shadow people. That's the reason why I brought this topic to the table, because it's something I think everybody should at least try and talk about and know about.
Okay, so
or at least try to acknowledge it, because it's just like you can acknowledge that. For the people that want to acknowledge that it's just sleep paralysis, if you want to go off the experiences of people that have had it or have seen it during sleep paralysis, you could just say it's just your body's still waking up.
Yeah,
you could go with that.
That was a good point.
All right, guys. I think this. I think next week's episode is going to be intense. It's going to be long, and it's going to be.
It's going to be
very informational because there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot of stuff there,
and we're not gonna tell anybody just yet because I want to make it a surprise for everybody.
It's
definitely a long one.
Shout out to, honestly, I will say this. Shout out to I Capture That, because I showed, this was a group of friends that I make music with, or cool. I'm cool with. They all do their arts. Shout out to them, all of you. And I put them onto the podcast, and I said, like, yo, I'm open to any like conspiracy ideas, whichever ones, and hit me with that one, and I'll tell you the other one after we finish. So I don't know if you might be interested in this one. I don't know shit about this one either. So
all right.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Roy, my future brother-in-law, who today was diagnosed with COVID-19. Hopefully by the time this thing broadcasts in 2 weeks or whatever it is, he'll be well past that, and the wedding will still be on, and everything will be fine with him and my sister-in-law. So, many prayers going out to you, Roy. I hope everything's going to work out for you, kid. And he's like one of our biggest fans, so a big shout out to Roy Vanderbree. And
shout out, Roy.
Shout out, Roy.
All right, Block.
Shout out, Roy.
Take us out.
All right, everybody. Good night.
Oh, yeah, to me.